hello, and welcome back to today's podcast. Thank you very much for being here. To all my loyal listeners, I appreciate you. Hey, if you guys have friends that need to hear this, please pass it along. All right. Today we are going to talk about some heated topics for me. Don't be surprised if some German passion kicks in, but this is all stuff that we have talked about before, and it seems like all I ever do is talk about this. But apparently, because it constantly keeps coming up, I need to keep talking about it. So here I am again. Okay, we have to talk about a lot of misinformation that is going on around the infinite banking concept. And let's just get into a little history of that first. So Nelson Nash created this concept. He wrote a book, Becoming Your Own Banker. The book was to help people understand what life insurance is. The book was not meant for life insurance agents to sell life insurance. It was meant to use for education. Hence, the Infinite Banking Practitioner Program. In the last week, I have ran into a lot of people that have life insurance policies or are trying to get me to sell life insurance for their companies, thinking that they know infinite banking or telling people that they know infinite banking. I had a wonderful lady a couple weeks ago, as of this recording, and she said, I've known about Nelson Nash for many years in infinite banking. I have 4 policies with my local agent, but I have a feeling she doesn't really know what she's talking about because when I ask her questions, she can't answer them. Yet she tells me she's an infinite banking practitioner. Hey, you guys, you can go on to infinitebanking.org and you can find, it says find your practitioner right there. So I go online and I look, and in 5 seconds, she's not a practitioner. Her name is not listed. This lady who has had these policies for years had no idea about any of the stuff I was talking about. We were talking about being an honest banker and paying yourself back. We were talking about when to use the policy, when to use cash at the bank, how to create income. Her daughter is a huge Dave Ramsey fan. And her daughter said, Mom, those policies are such a waste of money. And she has a policy on her daughter. We talked about the fact that if the daughter doesn't like the policy, then maybe the daughter shouldn't get the policy upon your passing. Because what is she going to do? She's just going to cash it out. So maybe you don't want to leave her that money, right? So infinite, and then we talked about all sorts of things that she can do with the ranch and how we can make money off of it if we don't need to sell it. Then I had a guy over the weekend messaging me and asking me if I know about premium finance. Well, if you guys listen to my older podcasts, I do have a podcast where Wade Borth and I are going over premium financing and what a crock it is. I don't see the point of it. Absolutely nothing about it screams IBC. And I told the guy that. I said, I'm not interested in your premium financing. I didn't say scam, but I wanted to say scam because it goes against infinite banking. He said, how does that go against infinite banking? Instead of banging my head against the wall, I just replied and said, if you don't know the answer to that question, then you don't know what infinite banking is. And you might want to listen to my podcasts, and you may want to read Becoming Your Own Banker. To that, I got no reply. I'm pretty sure he's done with me because he probably heard the snottiness in my voice. And yes, I was snotty and I was not nice because I do at times have like a very low threshold for stupidity. This is absolutely ridiculous that agents are out there telling you that they know infinite banking and they don't know infinite banking. And y'all know, because if you've listened to my podcast for any length of time, you know that this drives me nuts. These agents are not engaged in infinite banking. They are life insurance salesmen. There is a difference. And if you are going to buy a policy from a life insurance salesman, then by all means, go ahead. I am not in the business of teaching agents infinite banking. It's not my thing, especially when an agent comes to me and doesn't even know what it is or anything, has never read Becoming Your Own Banker, hasn't studied it. But he wants me to sell life insurance for him so that they can make a lot of money. If I wanted to premium finance, I could do that all day long because my farmers have a line of credit. I could be the queen of premium finance. I could be rolling in dough. And people would be losing farms left and right. And where would I be sleeping? Probably in jail. I probably wouldn't be sleeping. Well, if I was that guy, maybe I would. I know an agent that does all premium finance policies. And he does it very conservatively with business owners that have a history. Now, I have not even talked to this agent in probably 2 years, unfortunately, because I love him. But what happened to those clients when COVID hit? You can have a retail business that's been around for 15 years, but when COVID hits and the government shuts you down, how are you going to pay back the bank? Because all premium finance is we're borrowing money from the bank to pay our premium. And then the bank gets to control our life insurance policy because that is collateral to the bank loan. But the bank had our land. So our land is actually collateral as well. Because if we sell the land, where's the money to pay the bank coming from? Because that was the land. That was the payment, right? Is our commodities. One of my clients I talked to today, they don't even know if they're going to plant this year because it's so dry in their area. Yeah, that's who I want to do premium finance on. Don't be stupid. You don't understand infinite banking, yet you're trying to sell it as if you do. You don't understand farming. I am tired of agents who are trying to just make commission. And they are not here to help the industry. It is seriously annoying to me. It's not even a factor of a scarcity mindset. Because if you can help farmers and you understand how they make money, that's great. But when I have agents ask me, well, why can't they just pay monthly? Well, why can't they just pay quarterly? Well, why this, why this, why this? They don't understand farming. It is not like any other business. Well, I shouldn't say that. It is like a lot of businesses that are seasonal, right? But people need to just be aware of what they're doing. Here's another one. Well, what's my rate of return? When I meet with my clients, I go over what the interest rate on the policy is earning. I go over how you borrow money. I go over the structure of the policy. And then when people come back and say, well, what's the rate of return? I don't quite know how this is going to fit into what we're trying to do. Then we either need to have another conversation or you need to take the time to actually read the book and listen to some podcasts. If you are not quite grasping it yet, it's because something has not created the light bulb moment. And if that hasn't happened, then we need more information because there's a lot of questions that need to be answered. And most likely I've answered them, but a lot of times if you've not read the book, but you listen to the book, those questions aren't going to get answered because you haven't read it. Keep listening to the podcasts because they're here to educate you. There is so much misconception. Oh, here's another one that I've run across a lot. Oh yeah, I can do that infinite banking thing for you. And then I'm going to do universal life or variable life or index life. How many times have I told you guys that does not work? I just had somebody last week that has a universal life policy that the agent said, oh, that's going to be bad. You need to stick in another $500,000 to keep that going. And so they canceled the policy. He said, yeah, that's how they work. That's just how they work. But you asked for an estate planning policy. So I've never been told just universal life is for estate planning. I didn't know that. I mean, what did they use for estate planning before the late 70s when universal life wasn't a thing? Do you think they used whole life? Probably. But in his words, that's what they asked for. And then when she said, well, do you have a whole life product? He said, oh yeah, we do. If you would have asked for that, you would have had a lot more money in that. But she asked for an estate planning policy. They all qualify. Well, in my opinion, only one qualifies, and that's whole life. The other ones are absolute complete garbage. Why did you not sell her the right policy? And then you know that they are going to collapse. So instead of calling them and all the clients that you wrote universal life policies for, you know that they're going to collapse, but instead of calling them, you just wait for that to happen. You just wait for them to get to the point where they're too old that they can't even get another policy. Like that's your strategy, is just to hang out and wait? There's this little thing called servicing your clients. Yeah. Most agents might want to think about that. It's a thing. I can't tell you how many people I've talked to that they don't even know who their agent is because their agent left the industry or whatever and nobody's ever contacted them because there's not this thing of servicing agent or servicing clients. It's not really a thing. Unbelievable. Unbelievable to me. We have so many misconceptions of infinite banking on the concept side of it and on the life insurance side of it. It is mostly a concept. And guess what? You've all heard me say this a million times. The life insurance policy is the tool. You can't just go get a tool and expect to know how to use the policy. This wonderful lady that I met last week had no idea how to use the policy. Had she, she'd have been in a much better position today because she'd have had more policies with more money in them. But that wasn't relayed to her. Instead, we got somebody that's avoiding questions. Or better yet, I'm going to give my agent the book, and the agent's not going to read the book. I had a client last week as well that gave her agent the book, and the agent said, oh, you can't do that. This agent works for a mutual company that you can do it. Oh, you can't do that. She still hasn't read the book. Even though her company can do this, not to the level I can do it as far as structuring the policy, but they got whole life. Oh, we can't do that. It's called the arrival syndrome, right? It's out there and it's remarkable. I think it's at its highest levels right now. I feel like in the last 2 weeks I've met all sorts of people that have arrived, and me being on TikTok isn't helping any. So if y'all are on TikTok, go to MJ Irmen and you can find me on TikTok. I am not under Farming Without the Bank, but if you search that hashtag, you'll find me because it's everywhere. But it's really remarkable. I had somebody on TikTok comment the other day when I put up the generational wealth. I put up a video of generational wealth, taking death benefit and buying life insurance, and then that person dies, and then we take that death benefit and we buy more life insurance. I put that scenario on TikTok. And somebody said you'd be better off taking that money and putting it into buying land, and then you would have the land to pass off. I mean, I don't even know what to say to that. Besides read the book, because you don't understand what I'm trying to tell you. No, you would not be better off putting it in land. Because if the land is paid for, we have to go to the bank to borrow the equity. That's not farming without the bank. That's not creating the objective. Do I tell you guys to completely eliminate the bank? No. Do I tell you to go head deep in debt with the bank? No. Common sense is ask a question. Mary Jo, what would be the difference of putting it in the policy? We have liquidity of it. We have death benefit. We have income tax-free growth. We have income tax-free death benefit that gets passed on. Land, we have capital gains if we're going to sell it, or we can't sell it to generate any income. And then life insurance policy is an and asset. We can buy the land and we can put it in the policy. But nope. It'd just be better off putting a policy. Let's not ask any questions. Let's just assume we're the smartest person in the room. The levels of ignorance that we have sometimes is amazing to me. It really is. And I want to say it's not people's fault, but I kind of feel like sometimes it is. We have everything we need today at our fingertips to learn about something. Everything is at our fingertips. And yet we choose not to go on that little Google machine. I don't care if it's Google. I don't care if it's Firefox. I don't care if it's DuckDuckGo. I don't care where you're at, but you need to research it and stop saying, oh, I know. Oh, I know. Really? You know? No, you don't. And then when you do know, and if you don't, or if you hear it and you don't get it right away, or it sounds like it's maybe too good, we don't keep researching it. We just stop right there. Guess what? I thought this was too good to be true as well. I thought everybody was going to jail. But did I stop researching? Oh, no. That just drove me in further. Because how? If this is true, how could we not know about it? Amazing. Amazing. But people don't want to. We want to be the smartest person in the room. Or we want to lie and say that we know all about it so we can make some commission, but we're not helping anybody. Really? Come on, people, help me out here. All right, that's 18 minutes of a rant. I'll quit. If you have read the book and you have questions, set up an appointment. If you have more than more questions, I will do 2 meetings if I need to. If you have people in your life that are telling you you are a complete idiot, like the one client that I had last week. Oh gosh, you're a complete idiot, but her agent won't read the book. But everybody tells her that she's a complete idiot. Keep educating yourself. Because what are they doing that's so awesome that's going to get them to where you want to go? If you're trying to grow a business, if you're trying to start a business, if you're trying to start a farm, if you're farming and you want to buy more land and you want to expand, why are you putting money in the market? Do we need to have so much equity in land that it holds us back from expanding? I'm not saying don't have no equity or don't have any equity. That was horrible grammar. Don't have any equity, but at least have, if there's some equity in there, can we use that to expand if we need to with the bank? Or are we good growing smaller so that we don't have to borrow anything from the bank? There's many levels to this, but to just trust somebody that doesn't even know what infinite banking is, that's craziness to me. To premium finance and borrow money from the bank to pay policy premium, not a chance in heck I would let my clients do that. It could go south in a very large hurry. And just like the last podcast, that guy's, I can make a better rate of return than Mary Jo. Since when is it about a rate of return? We don't understand infinite banking. There's very few people that truly understand what Nelson was trying to teach. And hopefully you are one of them because you listen every week. Okay, guys, let me know if you have questions, if you have concerns, if you have not read the book. Read the book. Farming Without the Bank is 100 pages. BYOB is like 103 or something. They're very small. You'll get through them. It will be the best thing that you ever did for your financial future. It was the best thing I ever did. Best thing the majority of my clients ever did. And then if you have questions, let me know. You can go to Mary Jo at Without the Bank. You can email me and go to farmingwithoutthebank.com and grab your books and do whatever you need to do. If you get the audio, please get the hardcover with it, because the people that listen to the audio do not always understand what I'm trying to say. All right, with that, I leave you, and you guys have a fantastic week.